In first place in the American League Central Division, but our DoubleA affiliate, the Akron RubberDucks, are in first place in the Eastern League, mopping up with a 38-19 record. And joining us now is Dave Wallace, the manager of the Akron DoubleA affiliate. Hi, Dave. Good to have you on the show, pal.
Hey, great to see you, Bruce.
First of all, for your knowledge, Dave is a former Major League catcher, professional, and in the professional ranks for a lot of years. Then he turned to the coaching and managerial side, working his way through the Indian system. And you may not know that Dave, great all-around athlete, and played football at Vanderbilt. Yes, he went to Vanderbilt, and I won't hold that against you, Dave, considering Jensen Lewis is always bragging that you guys are smarter than the rest of us.
Well, hey, sometimes the truth hurts.
Football, you quarterback down there, huh? SEC.
I did. I gave it a shot. Vanderbilt was going to let me play both from the beginning of my college career, and gave it a good shot. Ended up wasn't necessarily good enough to spend half the time with football and half the time with baseball, but some great experiences and, things that I draw on from that even now as I manage.
Was baseball always your favorite sport as a kid?
Baseball is always my favorite sport. Coming out of high school, though, I started to get a lot more attention for football. So I thought, hey, it's a better opportunity to get a full scholarship, Growing up in the South, the opportunity to play in the SEC was tough to turn down. And I'm glad that I did it because I'm exactly where I want to be right now. And like I said, there's some great experiences there, some tough experiences, but, some that molded me as a man and as a eventual coach. So.
I had the privilege, when I was down in spring training. What is that drill, that fun thing that you guys do with the running back and forth, the endurance thing? What do you guys call that, Dave?
Yeah, we call it a beep test. So it's basically a 40-yard gasser, 20 yards out, 20 yards back. And the time that you get to complete it gets shorter and shorter each time. So just an endurance test to one of the tests that we put the guys through to make sure that they're in good shape going into spring and into the year.
Actually, Kipnis and Brantley lasted a real long time, two of the leaders on our team. And Wallace here was right in there with those youngsters. I was standing right next to where he was alive. I was impressed, man.
Hey, I had a little motivation. Chris Antonetti, they all were picking their favorites, and he asked me if I thought I could hang in there with the guys, and I said I think I could, hold my own and be there at the end. And he said, "Well, you're my choice then." So I had a little motivation, and I went for it and was able to hang in there till the end. But those guys got me in the end.
It's a real camaraderie thing with the whole roster. They really cheer for one another. Hey, the RubberDucks kicking some tail, huh?
I tell you what, Bruce, this is the most complete roster that I've had the privilege to manage. 6 years of managing. And then, not to mention when we send guys up to Columbus, these guys that have come in and fill in have been outstanding. So we can do a little bit of everything. We've got a lot of power throughout our lineup. Our starting pitching's been solid, and our bullpen's been even better.
Well, got to ask you about the two big boys, Frazier and Zimmer. Frazier hitting .309, 6 homers, 25 RBIs, 18 doubles, a triple. He has struck out 41 times, walked 28. That ratio's pretty good. Talk about him first, Dave.
Really impressed by what Clint's done this year. One of those guys that he's been pushed, coming straight out of high school. You sometimes worry about pushing those guys too fast, but Clint has not only hit the ground running this year, but is leading the league in a lot of categories and right there at the top. And been very impressed with his work ethic, been very impressed with his desire to learn more. And just as I've been lucky enough to experience in the past with Lindor and Naquin, some of these guys that are, first-round draft picks, very talented. They're humble kids, and they want to learn. They don't think they've got it all figured out, and that is an absolute key to success. So see bright things for Clint's future.
He's a center fielder, but so is Zimmer. Where do you flip-flop? Yeah. How do you play them?
Yeah, we see time at each position just because, as you're seeing in the big leagues right now with Cleveland, the versatility that some of these outfielders have to be able to play all three positions, or at least two out of the three, we see as extremely valuable. The fact that each one of them can play center field and be a very good center fielder is a huge positive. So there's a little bit of a balancing act, getting them both time there. But we also see value in them seeing left field and right field.
Now, Zimmer, the batting average leaves a lot to be desired at 225, but boy, the power numbers are there at 9 homers, 36 RBIs, 5 triples, 10 doubles. He's stolen 20 bases. Strikeout to walk ratio could be a little bit. Comment on his offense, Zimmer.
Yeah, so it's actually, it's fun to look at his stat line, and I know Bradley is not hitting as consistently as he would like right now, but when you really dig into the numbers, as we have, seen in the last, the evolution of the analytics the last few years, batting average is not everything. And Bradley is right there in the top 5 in a lot of leading categories, RBIs, OPS, on base, stealing, really an impact player. So what a good sign for a guy that, is not playing or hitting necessarily, hasn't hit his stride yet at the plate, but still very productive and one of the top offensive threats in the whole league.
How about the defense of these two guys, their natural positions being center field? I don't want to put you on the spot and say who's the better defensively, but who's the one better defensively?
Well, I tell you what, they're both pretty good, but I think Zimmer could cover a little bit more ground. He's just, if you get a chance to ever watch him, I know you have, but really, a taller guy, long legs, but can really move, and just one of those guys that you watch run either on the bases or in the outfield, and it just looks easy, it's smooth, and just looks like he's floating to the ball. So he could probably cover a little bit more ground. Arm strength-wise, Frazier's got a little bit different running style and more of a short, quick, choppy steps, but he can also move and cover a lot of ground. So I'm comfortable with either one of them in center field. I'm comfortable with either one of them on the corners. So I think that speaks well to the work that they've put into it. The humility that comes with it. Sometimes you get guys that don't, they want to be that marquee position, which is center field in a lot of their minds, but wherever we put them, however they're matched up there, those guys are doing their best job, and will continue to do that.
Dave, this isn't your call, but how far away do you think these two top prospects are from the big leagues? Now, obviously, Antonetti and Chernoff, they'll ask your advice on this. They go down and they observe it, with their own eyeballs, but they cherish that. That's part of your job to recommend. And how far off can we tell the fans these kids are? How close are they?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a great question. And it's very relevant because, with what you see, and in fact, spent a couple of days with Mike Chernoff last week. He was down here watching all of our guys play, and then we had some meetings as well, just kind of going over goals and, how we want to attack the future, limitations that these guys might have to help them to be the most complete player by the time they get to Cleveland. My answer is sooner rather than later. These guys are not that far off. And what gives me such confidence in saying that is their work ethic, their preparation, and the desire to learn more. They don't feel like they've got it all figured out. When they make a mistake, they learn from it and make the necessary adjustments. And that's what baseball is all about. And that's what those guys up top do the best. It's not that they don't make mistakes. It's when they do, they make the adjustments and they don't make it again.
I want to ask you about this kid, Rob Kaminsky. Now, to refresh the memory of the fans, Kaminsky's the kid we got from St. Louis in the Brandon Moss deal. He's a lefty, and I remember when we made that deal, there were a lot of national people that were saying they couldn't believe that St. Louis made that deal and gave us this kid because he has such great stuff. Now, for you, he's 1-2 with a 4.06 ERA, 37 2/3, 21 strikeouts, 17 walks, 1.46 WHIP, which could be a lot lower, obviously. Comment on the on Kaminsky. He's a lefty, by the way.
He is, yeah, and you can put me in that category of, I'm really surprised that St. Louis was willing to depart. I know Brandon Moss is a nice play piece. They're pretty happier with getting Rob back. And Rob has dealt with some low back discomfort so far this year. And in fact, a little bit last year, I think he only made a start or one appearance before, we shut him down to really work on some of his mobility stuff and low back stuff. So, but you watch him throw, you see the stuff, and you know it's there, and the type of, when you get to know Rob and the type of guy he is, very dedicated, willing to put in the work, willing to put in the sacrifice to do what he needs to do. His last start, he started last Saturday through 5 very clean innings. I think it was 1 hit, no runs, just exciting. He's starting to feel better. So I think you're about to see those numbers get a lot better as he takes off because he's feeling better and a lot more healthy.
And you got a couple of other dandy pitchers. Shawn Merriman is 9-1 with a 2.17 ERA, and Plutko 3-2 with a 3.10 ERA. Comment on those guys.
Yeah, just professional guys by the way they go about their work. Both have seen some time here at this level and are just waiting for the opportunity to open up in Columbus or even Cleveland. Been very impressed at how they've gone about their business, because when you start to put up numbers and dominate a league like Morimondo and Plutko have, it's easy to get ahead of yourself and start feeling sorry for yourself because you feel like you should be at a higher level. We haven't seen any of that. These guys continue to prepare and to work and to develop here at this level, which we feel, they can do just as well as they could in AAA. Of course, there's some factors in AAA that you can get that you're not going to see here. Just a little bit deeper lineup, a little more veteran hitters, which will be good for them once they do go up. And it probably is a matter of time, but we feel comfortable with where those guys are right now and their development, and can't wait to see them in a Cleveland uniform sooner rather than later as well.
Dave, is there anybody you'd like to tip off the fans that haven't seen your team play that they can look forward to on the horizon with the Tribe?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, kind of stick on that pitching staff. A guy, Michael Peoples, a tall righty, who actually is going to make a spot start in Columbus tonight with, Skipping Salazar start and Cody Anderson going up to make that start. We sent up Michael Peoples to make a spot start in Columbus, and a guy, kind of a sinker ball. He's not going to light up the radar gun, but sinker, slider, changeups, kind of got a good mix. A little bit taller than a Josh Tomlin, but similar in the way he can pitch and get outs and get deep in the game. So he'd be a name that I would definitely keep an eye on, listen out for, and think that we're going to see him in the future, in a Tribe uniform.
By the way, the Rubber Ducks in action tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday, hosting Reading, Pennsylvania. And by the way, the Eastern League AllStar Game is going to be staged down there at Canal Park middle of July, huh?
Yeah, really looking forward to that. That's going to be a great time. If some of your viewers haven't been down here to Akron and seen, or at least haven't been down here in a couple years and seen what the new ownership, Ken Babby, and then Jim Fander, our general manager down here, and his whole team, what they've done with our stadium, with the atmosphere down here is just outstanding. Probably, if not the best in DoubleA, one of the best. And that plays a huge role in our team and the energy, and we feed off the crowd and just the atmosphere down here in the stadium in Canal Park. And it's just I know they're going to do a great job for the All-Star Game. Electric. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, it's so convenient now, and a lot of the major league teams are following this trend. But here we've got our DoubleA affiliate with you managing in Akron, AAA's in Columbus, Lake County Captains, Mahoning Valley, all in the immediate proximity for Antonetti and Chernoff and everybody to come and watch these kids.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. In fact, I'm surprised it kind of took this long for a lot of major league organizations to jump on board and figure out ways to get their affiliates closer, because it's only an advantage for really everybody. The closer they are and the easier it is to get to see them. And from a fan experience, I think it's great as well. To say I saw Francisco Lindor, Tyler Naquin, even Jason Kipnis, those guys, just for some of them last year, like a Kipnis, a few years ago down when he was in DoubleA or AAA or even A-ball, and then see them progress and to see what they've become now, I think is very interesting and makes it even better when you see them in Cleveland and do what they are.
Well, Dave, keep up the great work. Rubber Ducks in first place by 6.5 with a 38-19 record going into today's play. Always a pleasure, David. See you soon, bud.
All right, Bruce. Appreciate it.
David Wallace, our manager of the Akron RubberDucks in DoubleA affiliate down in Akron. All right, we'll be back in a moment as we continue with Drennan Live.
Here's the 2-2. That's a big sit. Coming off the score, Rodriguez. That was on the board. Mike Pappy singles to right. Akron now trails 5-1.